अब मीनवाइल आप लोगों को सबको आप लोग डाल सके ना. ओके, अब लिंक क्या है? So already we are live, but officially we go in a minute. We'll see that Asma manages to join in between. But I'm glad that all of you managed to take out the time and to be here for this session. And inshallah, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to it.
I think I appreciate your efforts that you have managed this session. A great effort by you.
No, thank you. This is all
in future as well.
Sorry?
I think this program should continue in future as well, because this is the
Please.
platform from where we can share the ideas.
Bilkul, inshallah. And we've, like I was mentioning earlier before we went live, that we are planning on holding the next session on the 14th of May, which will be with tour operators. So we will, inshallah, do a similar session with them, and we'll be doing a series with different tourism-related industries, so that everybody can have a word, and we can all give us their input. I was just waiting for Asma to be able to join in, but she has not. I think she's having connectivity issues because she is in Islamabad. So we'll let her join in whenever she can. And meanwhile, we will start officially our program. And I will, as soon as I get the link, I'll share it with you so that you all can put it on your Facebook pages as well, and go live from there. So, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome to what we hope is going to be the first of a series of webinars that FPCCI's Central Standing Committee on Tourism Development, of which I'm the convener for this, will be holding. By the time I received my appointment letter, it was already almost mid-February, and we started the year with great enthusiasm, holding 2 meetings at FPCCI and getting a presentation ready with our proposals for the promotion of tourism, which we were planning on sharing with the government when Corona struck. So we had no choice but to change our thinking and our plans, and at least for what seems to be the foreseeable future. And we are now focusing our attention on how we can promote safe local tourism in the days ahead, so as to keep the economy going, perhaps to create jobs rather than to lay off people, and safeguard all businesses heavily connected with tourism. Hence, we will be talking to various stakeholders, beginning with today's session, in which we've invited hoteliers of Pakistan to participate and to share their views. So, without further ado, let me introduce today's August participants. We will be hearing Mr. Zubair Baweja, who you can see on the screen, who is not only the chairman Pakistan Hotels Association, he is also MD Regent Plaza Hotels, and he is vice president FPCCI for this year. Our other eminent speakers include Mr. Mustansir Zakir, CEO Hajwani Hotels that own Marriott and Tusi Hotels in Pakistan, and Mr. Salimullah Sheikh, COO Arabian Sea Enterprises Limited that owns Movenpick Hotel Karachi. We also have in our esteemed panel Ms. Asma Haider, who you don't see right now because she was there, but I think she's having connectivity issues and hopefully she'll be able to rejoin us. Ms. Asma runs an eco-tourist resort in Hunza by the name of Mountain Story, and who's also incidentally a member of our committee. And then there is, of course, Mr. Azim Qureshi, who you can also see with us, Corporate Director of Sales Avari Hotels Limited and GM Beach Luxury Hotel. So, as you can see, we have a great cross-section of hoteliers here, representing hotels all across the country. Let's hear what they have to say. So I'm going to begin with Mr. Zubair Baweja. Zubair Sahab, normally around this time of the year, hotels are gearing up for the summer season when people come here from all over the world, especially since it's the wedding season in the summers. Now there seems to be no likelihood of people traveling outside their countries in the near future. So, how are the hoteliers proposing to entice customers? And since you're the chairman of the association, I thought it's best to ask you that. आप अपना आपका mic on है because we can't hear you. Your mic is it shows that it's on, but we can't hear you. Maybe we should हम अपना सब mic. ज़ुबैर साहब बोलें कुछ? We could hear you earlier, but we can't hear you now. Yeah. Can the others hear Zubair Saab?
No.
Nobody can hear him.
No, nobody. Also,
Okay.
I think
I think he's okay. Asma is back. Asma, welcome back. Can you hear us?
it seems that she has some connectivity issue. Both of them.
Yes, she's the only one who's outstation. She's in Islamabad, and she's been having a lot of problems connecting. Where is the link? किधर copy किया? WhatsApp group में इनके डाल दो. I think let's move on to Mr. Mustansir. Mr. Mustansir, just say hello so I know that that your mic is working.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Ji, walaikum salam. So we'll carry on with you, and hopefully Zubair Saab will be able to rejoin us.
Fine, sure.
Also, just before we start with you, can you forward the जो लिंक है आज का जो हमारा ये हो रहा है उसको आप अपने फेसबुक पे शेयर कर लें.
जी जी.
I have forwarded it in our webinar group. आप लोग इसको अपने Facebook pages पे शेयर कर लें. ठीक है? Mr. Mustansir, with overheads as high as those of 5-star hotels, how are you planning on retaining your staff when there is no business coming in? And how long do you think your hotels will be able to afford taking this hit?
Thank you very much for this inviting me on this forum. Yes, this is a very challenging situation right now, and retaining of staff and the cost which is associated with retaining of staff. As a first step, our group has taken the initiative that all the senior members or managers whose salaries are above 200,000 rupees per month up to maximum, we have created a slab like 200,000, those who are drawing and above, they are voluntarily cutting off their pay by 20%. And similarly, by those who are getting 400,000, they are on 30%. And the maximum, the highest slab, they are giving a slash voluntarily of 50% of their pay scale. This we have done for an interim period of for 3 months, and we will see and watch the situation, how the market is going to react and what is going to be the impact of this epidemic on the hotel industry. And then maybe this can be extended for the next future months also. So that is one of the steps which we have taken. The purpose of this that we do not want to lay off or to take any job of either of our daily wager also, those who are associated with our group. So this is the first initiative which is taken by the senior managers and managers. And secondly, what we are doing, uh, we are we are from the cost point of view, we are taking those costs in our measures which can be deferred for the time being or which can be slashed. So this can be the second aspect of creating more liquid funds available for paying to the staff and to fight with this situation. The situation which we are getting from the world and which we are getting a feel from Pakistan, that this is not going to be over soon. Uh, Maybe the time estimated which we are anticipating is December 2020. But the impact of these 6 to 8 months is going to be recovered in next 2 to 4 and 5 years time. Situation is very tough. In Pakistan, if you see from the revenue point of view, one good thing is, and from the hotel point of view, that in recent 10 years' time, if I can take you back to 9/11, because we forgot the 9/11 situation. 9/11 situation was more worse than this, what we are right now.
Really?
So if we take from 9/11, hotels have done already this practice once 9/11 was there. And we already gone through this kind of situation. And Pakistan was the most hit region due to 9/11. Everybody knows. Except I can say Islamabad, leaving Islamabad, all hotels in the other city were severely hit by 9/11. So everybody was facing that kind of situation. So after 9/11, the trend of business in Pakistan was changed dramatically. Uh, the reliance on outbound tourism was less in Pakistan, and local tourism was promoted in Pakistan in last 10 years' time. This benefited this hotel industry and tourism industry in Pakistan a lot. Uh, so, a positive note, I can say, no doubt this situation is right now there. If we Pakistan do not have outbound tourism, that's okay. We have Pakistan have enough capacity of a local tourism and local inbound, what we can say, traffic in for the hotel, for the airline, and for other related industry. So my conclusion note will be like this: we do not have to be panicked. We have to find out and gear up ourselves. Look for the small corners where we can accumulate our savings and make a strategy so we can sustain ourselves for short term and for long term. Uh, like I said in hotel, uh, as other special industries are there, hotel is also a very special industry. So retaining of a staff is also in a benefit for the hotel industry itself because they are the talented people, they are the skilled labor, they are not the unskilled people. So one challenge is to retain them, and second challenge is to how to overcome this financial crisis. So hotel industry has to fight on the both end. Uh, no doubt revenues are down, uh, but I can say we have to find avenues how we can earn and increase and accumulate and accelerate our revenue streams. We have to change our thinking 360 degrees, I think now.
I
Uh,
agree. Yeah.
maybe maybe we do not anticipate more banquets, more inflow in restaurants, because that revenue is going to be definitely hit. So we have to find out how we can transform these two revenue generating sources in what sense? Maybe we have to go for online delivery. Maybe we have to go for delivery on doorstep, and maybe we have to go for a packaged food sort of a thing. Uh, Maybe we have to introduce new menus so to overcome these kind of gap. So this is from the point of view of food segment and banquet segment. And from room, yes, we have to be see how and smart packages we can introduce for the room. We can invite locals to take the advantages of a hotel test, which they have never done it before, like family packages, like for vacation packages, on a very small, low room rate businesses, family packages, maybe recreational and vacation packages we have to introduce to
Exactly.
invite more and more local public.
Thank you. Actually, that this was the purpose of this exercise, so that we could do some brainstorming and see how we could try and increase tourism locally to compensate for the tourism that we are not going to get now from outside. I was delighted to hear about what you're doing regarding the salaries of all your staff members. And I was just wondering, because this is something that for my own industry also, we had been contemplating whether if we give salary cuts for a certain period, are you going to then make them compensate and give them once Corona is over and life resumes normally? Will you, the cut that you have given, are you all going to compensate and give them back that amount that you all have cut, or what you've cut is basically cut?
We have not thought at this point of time. We have
Okay.
to review the situation, what the situation is going to dictate us in future. So as of now, for 3 months, we have voluntarily cut our pay scale. It means we're not going to reimburse. We're not going to means reimbursed by a company. No. The employee they themselves they have voluntarily cut their salaries. They do not going to claim. Now it's up to the organization whether if the situation is allowing us, we might reimburse whatever at this point of time they have volunteered
Okay.
cut in their pay scale.
Okay.
As far as for the future retention of employees, uh, we're going to retain our employees. There is no such policy of Ashu Group to discard or eliminate skilled labor. Because in Hashu Group, we have a motto and a vision that we work as a family. Employee is our family. Like in a hotel business, in a tourism business, there are four partners: owners, your suppliers, your employee, and your guest. So employees are the equal shares, I can say, shareholding they have in this industry. They are
Right.
our, they are trained people. Fine, if we at this point of time we ask them to leave, but what about tomorrow? If situation is getting at normal, we will lose the skilled labor and we will lose our family members. So we will fight for this situation up to last. We will retain them. We will try to cut other areas like we have done it our high pay scale. Yes, we're going to ask
No,
them
that's
to
very
volunteer.
heartening, Watson. Saad, that's really very heartening to hear.
Yes.
Salimullah Sheikh Saab, I'd like to ask you my next question. I think mic is off. उसको आप on कर दीजिएगा. Hotels the world over are converting their vacant rooms into office spaces so that people can safely work from there undisturbed. And as Mr. Mustansir also said, we have to now start being innovative, because the regular streams जो आ रहे थे for income, those are all blocked now. So we have to come up with innovative packages and so on. So has your hotel also thought of any alternate revenue streams that it could bank on?
Well, yes, definitely. Unfortunately, hotel industry is one of the hardest hit industry because of this coronavirus pandemic. The other is airline, we all know. But fortunately, hotel has some options to, as Mr. Vistal said, to look some other options to increase our revenues, uh, remaining within this social distancing and all these things which are necessary nowadays. Uh, we already know that room business is going to be heavily affected. Whether people will use our rooms as their offices or not, it's something tricky. But we can offer definitely. Our rooms are available for any purpose business executives want to use them for. But the most important thing is that we can raise or increase our revenues by utilizing our other resources. Like we have banquet rooms, meeting rooms. Social distancing is necessary, so we cannot have meetings with so many people. But you can know virtual conferencing like we are having. Virtual meetings are in, and there are so many companies who have board members in different countries. For example, some board members may be based in Karachi, some are based in Dubai or Singapore. So what we can do, we can offer them space where 4 or 5 board members can sit together with social distancing between them. And similarly, there are other board members situated in other countries. They can utilize the services in hotel in that country, and we can provide an atmosphere where they can have a meeting which looks like a meeting,
Right.
not a conference, online conference where individuals sitting in their homes or offices, but where people can discuss among themselves as well. Because a meeting is a meeting. I mean, there's nothing like face-to-face interaction. So we hotels can utilize our banquet space, meeting room space for that purpose. And for that, we will have to maybe invest a certain amount for getting the right equipment. On restaurant side, we are already in the delivery business, which is the future of food business. Then again, on the online business side, we can utilize our health club services, like we can give training, yoga, fitness training online. We can go into delivery of our laundry business. The laundry can be provided to homes. There's a huge demand, and people are not coming out there off to the home. Then there is a subscription service. All good companies have subscribers, and they give many benefits to their subscribers. I think hotels can start these services. Individual hotels can have their subscribers, and the subscribers can have multiple trainings. Like I said, yoga training, fitness training. Even the chef can give cooking classes online, which will be I believe, very beneficial for the people who are sitting at home, especially housewives. Plus training on hotel management, because we all believe that whatever is going on is temporary. When it will be over, that's a question. But there are some good news are also coming about vaccine. I mean, companies as good as Pfizer is saying that the vaccine will be available within this year, the autumn of this year. So if that happens, then this thing will be over very soon. And whatever forecast was made for 2020 is now over. I believe that forecast will apply now to 2021. So what we can do, in addition to try these new sources of income, we can plan what to do when the things get back to normal. Uh, if I believe if there was a time when hotel industry could think out of the box, I think this is the time. We, as Mr. Zakir said, that we have to think out of the box, new avenues, new things which hotel never used to do in the past. We will have to do it now. So these are some of the sources, plus some more things can come up, which will at least retain our revenues to some extent.
Except these ideas that you've just shared with us are fantastic. I think that's exactly the need of the hour right now. But you were talking in future tense for all of these things, that you can do this or you will be doing it. Have you all started implementing anything in your hotel right now, or it's all in the future?
Yes. I mean, as I said, the food delivery business has already been started. Being Ramzan, it is limited to certain timings. Uh, but laundry delivery is also in process. The virtual meeting thing is under consideration because it needs certain planning, and we have to take companies on board. They should be interested in availing this service. Plus, there may be some equipment which will have to be bought for this purpose. So, within a few months, I think the hotel will be shifting to new sources of income.
Okay, that sounds great. because this is, like I said, the need of the hour. I think we need to improvise now. Asma, can you hear me? And can you just say hi so I know that we can hear you?
I
Great,
can hear
great,
you.
great. Okay. So my next question is to you. Your retreat
Mhm.
is almost entirely dependent on tourists for its survival. Do you feel that in
Correct.
the current scenario, there is still a great potential for local tourists to visit in the coming summer months once the lockdown is over, and for them to come and stay at your hotel, given that the numbers would be contained and relatively safe, therefore?
Uh, all both of you have said some very interesting things, but being in the north, it's a little different. And of course, tourism business has really been hit in a bad way all over the world. And I think, but people are getting aware. And once this COVID is over, people are aware of social distancing and they're taking care. I do feel that if not the regular tourists, I think a certain percentage would come back, cons- as long as we stick to the format of the government's SOPs. But having said that, I mean, think about this. With the COVID, international travel is going to be limited. So what are people going to do? They're going to look into their own country.
Exactly.
With COVID now, people have been stuck in their home for months. They want to de-stress, see something else. I mean, they're tired of being home. Number three, with the COVID, people have been jobless. Income has really gone down, so people can't travel abroad. So they will want to look into their own country. And number four, the dollar rate, the change in the dollar rate, that's really affected us in a big way. So
Very good.
traveling abroad is not for everyone, I think. And who's going to do this air travel, long distance? I don't see that happening. But
Yeah.
all said and done, I think Pakistan is an amazing country. We have so much to offer: Sufi tours, religious tours, history tours, culture tours, adventure tours, food tours, wellness tours. So much can happen. And inshallah, will happen.
Exactly. In fact, this is what we were thinking, that because of the coronavirus and all these factors that you pointed out, the economy, the dollar rate,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fear, obviously international travel is out of the question. And that's why I think it's absolutely the right time to promote local tourism. But
yes,
that will also have to be done, keeping all our safety measures in place, because we are
yes.
not out of the danger zone yet. In fact, it's
No,
likely that
yes.
it will peak, and we can be hopeful that this will finish sometime soon or by the end of the year. But we still have to think of alternate ways of doing things. And the reason why I was asking you this question is that because you have an eco resort in
Yes,
Hunza, it's
yes.
obviously not going to be a huge building with lots of rooms and things.
No,
It's going to be,
no,
it's a
no.
contained space, so there'll
Yes,
be fewer people. There's less risk. So do you
there's
think that and now with people not, lots of people must have already made plans for the summer for abroad, and who will now no longer be going. And as
no.
you rightly said, will want to do something because they've been stuck in their homes for the last month or so. So, are you already getting people interested in coming to you in this summer?
Yes, 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 yes. I have been getting a lot of phone calls. People have been asking me when we are going to open, but I don't have an answer to give them. You see? So I'm
What?
just waiting. And if you look at my resort, these are little chalets, and each chalet is like 10 feet away from the next one. So social distancing is happening, is going to happen there.
Right, exactly. So, you don't think you will be in a position to open, say, by for the summer, for keeping all these
I
safety
mean,
practices?
I would seriously want to. I would seriously want to, but we need a go ahead from the government, or we need to find out it's okay.
Yeah.
Just
I
waiting
think
for
that,
that.
yeah, the purpose of all these exercises is going to be that we finally do make some SOPs and present it to the
Yeah,
government.
we need that.
And, yeah, and then, and the government appreciates very much the fact that businesses are at a downturn right now.
Yes,
I think they
yes,
will be sort of open to us doing things which keeping the safety practices in mind, and like you said, 10 feet apart and the social distancing, stuff like that. If we commit that we are going to follow all the rules, then I think hopefully the government will allow it. And once these smaller setups start opening up, it will give hope to the bigger setups to also follow suit and keep social distancing in place and run their hotels.
And Hunza is a place where you go for a trek, you go up for mountain climbing. You don't see many other people that are around you in any case.
Exactly. So this brings me to my. Sorry, did you want to add something?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Azim Saab, this brings me to my question for you, because with you representing specifically Beach Luxury Hotel also, and I know that that's old world charm. It's not made the way most 5-star hotels or 4-star hotels are made these days. The layout is such that it's more conducive to social distancing. So do you think that you are going to be able to get in people at this stage also to stay and to use the facilities of the hotel?
Shanaz, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me, because suddenly the voice is gone.
No, we can hear you.
Can you hear it?
Ji, आवाज आ रही है.
Okay. Now, coming back to Beach Luxury. Beach Luxury is basically a kind of a resort which is available in a business hub. So yes, the occupancy has gone, the business has gone like anything. It's altogether a game changer, what I say, after a few months. And we all have to learn how to work with it and how to fight with it. So all assumptions and spectacles, ideas are welcome from everywhere. Everybody's trying. Let's see what happens, but inshallah something will happen good for all of us, inshallah. That's what I believe. Coming back to Beach Luxury is basically, as I said, resort. So people, we had 10% occupancy, 18% occupancy also before Ramadan. Even we have touched 20% occupancy. And people who lived in Karachi came here, stayed here, enjoyed the room service. The basic thing of this hotel is the food. The food lovers can get the food through room service, So we worked out somehow the other kind of a, not break even, but we managed something out of this. But in Ramadan, it is totally silent. So we're working out with deliveries and takeaways, which is working very well. Again, the food variety, what we have, the Dynasty at Hawaii Towers and Lahore, three hotels ours are open right now. Lahore and Karachi Towers and us at Beach Luxury. So we are managing, but again, as I said, it is going to be a game changer, and let's see what happens, because whatever we have to try. I agree with Mustansar Saab that this country never had foreigners. I mean, even before 9/11, we used to have 70-30% ratio. But after that, it is all local market. So we, as a local tourism, has supported us. I used to be a front office manager. Now I'm become a corporate director for Wari Hotels. Mustansar Saab is the CEO. Salim Sheikh Saab is the CEO of Movenpick owning company. The lady we spoke. All this becomes of the domestic tourism. This domestic tourism has taken us to this place now. So I'm very hopeful things gonna get better, and inshallah things get better.
No, I'm very happy to hear that you all have not been facing the problem that all the other hotels have been facing. And actually, that is specifically why I asked you that question with Beach Luxury in reference, because I know that like Asma's resort, that becomes as something that people could still go to, because it's fewer people, space is more, ground level, a lot of capacity for people to move around freely without jostling one another. So,
Shanaz, one thing I also like to add, if I may. Hello.
Ji, please.
Please
go ahead.
What we did, we given mostly department heads. We sent them on a leave, paid leave. Whoever was not been able to have a paid leave, we have given them advance paid leave in all our group, total Awari hotels. And in this hotel, and our other two hotels also, we are the GMs are in house and looking after all departmental works, and mostly department heads are on leave. with their number twos. So we are crashing down the annual leave and all that. It is a liability. So we're taking that opportunity also.
That's terrific. That's very good. Um, I'm afraid we've lost Mr. Zubair Baweja somewhere down the line. He was very much with us in the beginning, but he seems to have disappeared. So I don't know whether he'll be able to join in. But I've been seeing a lot of comments in the column, and there's one very interesting comment made by Amina Khan, who is also part of our tourism committee. And she says that I think there might be a big influx of tourism as soon as people can travel internationally again. So our hotels need to brace themselves for that too. It won't be right away, but it is coming. So I suppose you all must be keeping that in mind also, that at the moment things are slow, but hopefully it will change soon. And then we may have people coming in with a greater force than earlier. So have you all even thought of that? And are you preparing for that?
I will just say, bring it on.
Good.
In fact, I would like to add that internationally, there is a data that bookings for December of this year and January of next year are much higher than the past year. So people are already preparing to travel and they're waiting for this pandemic to be over. So you are right, there will be a big influx whenever this thing is over.
Exactly, that's what we're hoping. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook Live and from any of our pages, if you all want to ask anything, you all can put down your comments in this comment box and we can address them. If there is any question, please go ahead and ask. Or if there is any comment that you would like to make, you're most welcome. So, is there anything else that y'all would like to add to what has been said already? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I might like to add something, if you allow me. Although there are disadvantages, as I earlier said, in this pandemic situation, there are advantages for countries like Pakistan as well. It is true that we hoteliers in Pakistan are mainly dependent on local community, local business. But as we know that Asia being the biggest continent, and after this pandemic is over, it is very likely that people will be traveling within their region so that they don't have to spend more time on airports or in long flights. So they will be traveling to areas which are nearby. For example, Chinese will be traveling within other countries, within Asia in other countries. So in that likelihood, Pakistan has a better chance of having international tourists as well, as compared to other areas like Europe and Americas or Africa. Similarly, as we all know that this pandemic has not affected Pakistan as bad as it has affected other countries like in Europe and America. So again, this will go to our advantage, and people might, they are more likely to travel to countries like Pakistan. And there's also a research paper in US which says that this virus does not grow well in hot countries or hot weather. So I think these 2 or 3 things go in favor of Pakistan. And after the pandemic is over, Pakistan might see if we do the image building better, if we do our marketing better, we are likely to have more tourists internationally as well than other areas like Europe or America.
Bilkul. In fact, the sad part is that we were before the corona, we had made a presentation to present to the government exactly about this, that we wanted to market ourselves better and we wanted to cash in on all the beautiful spots that we have, which nobody seems to even know about, even though they're living in Pakistan. And we really wanted to promote tourism. But obviously, when Corona happened, then promoting tourism in that respect, though, became out of the question. So we started focusing our energy on how we can try and at least retain some the footfall that we were getting, and maybe increase it, but still try and do it within the norms of all the health requirements that are in place right now. But hopefully, you're absolutely right. I think Pakistan is one of the safer places. It's not been proven yet whether the summer is going to do anything and the heat is going to really affect Corona one way or the other, because it has affected hot places as well. But hopefully, since we are already better off than a whole lot of other countries, we will hopefully remain better off and get out of this quicker as well. And we need to promote, definitely. I think a lot has to be done now to improve our identity, to improve our image, both locally and abroad. And local tourism definitely is something that we can look into, because it's safe to travel within your own country, much safer, and we will definitely be more open to it than people abroad. So let's hope that it works out. I believe Mr. Zubair is backstage. He's shown me an image that he is with us, but he is backstage and he needs to be brought in front stage, but I can't see him anywhere here. I've asked him to rejoin, so if he can reconnect, that will
Or we might go backstage with him.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to go backstage. I'm still new at this. This is my first time with StreamYard doing this. So we are all in the learning process right now. Let me see. I'm going to put it in having issues and see if we can get him to join us.
If you allow me, I have few points which I want to add at this forum.
Yeah, Bhavani.
As I said about this recent, whatever the situation Pakistan is facing, this is not the first experiment as far as Pakistan is concerned. As I mentioned about 9/11, 9/11 very much for Pakistan tourism industry to get the practice of how to sustain in this kind of situation. So I can say we are already practiced after 9/11, especially this hotel and tourism industry. But taking this forum, tourism itself is not a single unit. This is a combination of so many segments and sectors, which comes from the tour operators, from the airline, hotels, and you name it. So this is a very big question. If we talk especially about hotel, what hotel need right now a support from the allied industry. Like if you want to promote Gawadar, if you want to promote other remote areas of Pakistan, so the airline has to really think and come up with some economic plans, like about the rates, affordable rates, which can induce the locals to travel, to feel the joy of different taste of cities of Pakistan. Maybe most of the Karachis have never gone to Lahore or to Muzaffarabad or to Gawadar. So to make them affordable and to make in their budget, the other segment, which is airline and railway and public transport, they have to come up with some sort of a package. So that is one of the aspects I can say which will really help tourism and especially hotel to sustain in this kind of situation. Secondly, I always, when I was a chairman for Pakistan Hotel Association, on each and every forum I was talking that the tax structure for the hotels that need rethinking, because 43 different taxes right now are imposed on hotel. We never said from the hotel platform that you abolish each and everything. No. Government has to run, they have to collect taxes, and the taxes is must. What government has to do government has to do, and which we are as a hotel we are demanding, that please club all these 43 taxes either in one or in two segments, in two taxes. Make it hotel tax, either one tax at a province level and second tax as a central or federal level. Because we want to concentrate on our business rather than we do not want to concentrate on the how to collect taxes and how to deal with the different agencies of 43 agencies. This is not a part of a hotel. So if you really want us to focus on hotel, on tourism, then please allow us to get rid of all these dealing with 43 agencies. So on this forum, I would like to raise my voice that we have already submitted many proposals. Bawaja Saab has also has taken up this matter. I have also taken up this matter to the National Board, Tourism Board, but nothing has come up concrete. I think government has to think on this aspect also. This will really help us to concentrate on the business, on the promotion of the business, to come up and come out of this recent crisis, and to fight this situation. One more thing which I would like to add: uh, Pakistan population has grown tremendously. Local tourism really is the change after 9/11. But have you ever thought that how many new hotels, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star hotels, they come up in recent years? They are very few. So a question arises, a question comes: why population increased, local tourism is increased, people are traveling, awareness is there. Why industry is not coming up? New hotels are not coming up. So this question I leave to the government. Yes. Why?
Can you have the other mic on?
On this aspect also. So on any other forum, I will come up with what are the factors which are giving investor not coming to this segment. Um, there are so many reasons, and we have taken up this matter on different forum. And since Baweja Saab is right now is on this forum, I would like Baweja Saab to take up this point, that why new hotels and why new investors are not coming up. Baweja Saab.
Welcome, Baweja Saab. I'm glad you're back online, but I think we still can't hear you. आप जरा mic check करें अपना. No, we still can't hear you. Yeah, now we can hear you.
We still can't hear you. If you allow me, I can take up. Um, the government has to come as an investment policy for the hotel and for the tourism in a very different manner. They have to think over it, which comes giving comfort to the investors. One comfort is to to that their confidence is, I can say, disturbed. The investors' confidence is disturbed because one promises is made by one government, and that promises is not fulfilled by the another government. So a protection need to be done on a very high level, on a government level, to the investors, because investment in the hotel is not on a short-term basis. That is a long-term. I can just give you one example of our group, Bourbon Hotel. We made investment, and that investment was break even after 25 years of time. Like in Gavadar, we make investment in 2005 starting, and still we are fighting. The occupancy is around 5 to 10% right now. We are putting from our own pocket to run that hotel. I think, if I am not to the accurate figure, around 3 to 4 million the group is putting from their own pocket just to keep that hotel alive. So these kind of the what you can say issues which investors are facing. I don't know how much years we're going to take up the Gavadar like this. So the government has to really think over it. They had to provide a special sort of a loan, concession lands, tax reliefs, and a concrete long-term benefit plan for the investors, those who wish to invest in hotels. And secondly, a reduction on duties on raw material which is used in for the construction and for the use for the running of the hotels. The government has to, I say, they have to listen to us if they really want a boom and investment in this segment.
I think these are really very valid points, Mr. Sir. And I think what we will do after this session today is that we will sit together and maybe draft something for the government with all these points there. Something similar had been done once for the cinema industry as well, because similar taxes had been imposed. It was ridiculous. Nobody wanted to invest in it. The whole industry went to the dogs, and government realized much later in the day that they needed to give tax rebate to keep that industry going. So I think that this is now the need of the hour as well, and we should sit on this. And we're glad to have Mr. Zubair Baweja with us, who's now the chairman for the association. So we can sit and I think draft something for them. And it was interesting that you mentioned Gwadar, because the initial proposal that we were taking for the government to promote tourism, it was in that strip of Gwadar, the Urmara strip, and where there are so many beautiful sites which people don't even know about, which could be tapped for tourism. And we had made one presentation for Gwadar coastal area. We had also made one for Makli. And hopefully we'll take that up at a later stage once things start settling down once again. Zubair Saab, I think, has not been able to get his mic going, and I think at the moment he is also not on the screen. So we are maybe we'll take him in the next session. But before we sign off, and before I thank all of you for taking out the time for being here, the panelists as well as all the people who have joined us live. I can see a lot of comments. A lot of people are watching us live, and thank you so much for taking out this time. And please do join us in 2 weeks again on the 14th of May. Inshallah, we'll have tour operators with us, and we'll do a session with them as well. And hopefully something is going to come out of this, and we'll have Destination Pakistan this year. So stop visiting all your relatives and friends abroad. Come and see Pakistan and get people to come here instead. So thank you once again. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you.